and I was leaning against the wall of the shower, too tired to get out of the shower because I had taken a shower. And so I told myself, you got to do something. You just have to do something. You're going to be dead in a year.
Ava, how did you find carnivore?
Um, it was a long road. It was keto first. In 2020, my husband passed away. I was living in Texas, and I was his caregiver for almost 3 years before he passed. And anyway, I hadn't taken care of myself. And even though people told me you got to take care of yourself before you can take care of him, but I'd let myself go pretty badly. And so I ended up moving into town. We had a house out in the country, and I moved into town because it was too much, too big for just one person. And I had gained so much weight that I could barely take a shower without stopping to rest my body. And I was leaning against the wall of the shower, too tired to get out of the shower because I had taken a shower. And so I told myself, you got to do something. You just have to do something. You're going to be dead in a year. And that's really how I felt, that I would be dead within a year if I kept going down that road. So I started looking into keto. I had done Atkins in the 90s and had a lot of success with it then. And keto to me was just like a subset of Atkins. And so I started on keto and I started feeling better and I started losing some weight and stuff. But I still told myself, Ava, you can drink. You can still drink alcohol. Anyway, we tell ourselves what we need to hear. And so so it went for a while. I would stay on keto, and I actually lost quite a bit of weight. I don't know exactly how much weight I lost because I threw my scale away in 2009 because I broke up with it. I would weigh myself like 6, 7 times a day, expecting a different result and wasn't getting it. And so I went by how my clothes fit. So when I first started keto, I was the size 4X. And when I went off of keto and onto carnivore, I was an extra large. And I'd gotten so far with keto, but it just didn't take me over the line. I kind of had a stall. But then again, I was continuing to drink and, um, abusing alcohol. And so it goes. Um, and then I started hearing about, I was watching Dr. Ken Berry and Nurse Nisha and then Kelly Hogan and Laura Spath and all the carnivore and started hearing about carnivore. And so I thought, hey, I think I can do that. So the first time I went on carnivore, I could only do it for 2 weeks and then I fell back to keto. That was my excuse. I could always fall back to keto. I never really went back to eating the sugars and the carbs and all of that, but I would fall back to keto and start eating the vegetables and, things like that. And so Joe and Rachel from Two Crazy Ketos was doing a uh, beef, butter, bacon, and egg challenge. And so I joined them on that because I'd used to watch a lot of the keto people too. And they did it for 30 days. And I thought, well, and they were saying it would be better if you did it for 90 days. Well, I did it for 90 days. And I know I lost I went down to a size medium from the extra large down to a size medium. But then again, I fell back into keto and started gaining a little bit of weight back. And, here it goes. And so, anyway, I've been carnivore since 2023, but still drinking. So there I go. And so when I quit drinking, it did something. And one of the reasons I quit drinking was because of you. I actually heard your story. I've watched you, but I never really had paid much attention to your story. I was always watching your people that you had on. So, and you talked about how you had drank and this and that, and I'm like, you know what? I said a little prayer, and I was like, God, help me just give up the alcohol because I know I could have a lot of success with carnivore if I would just give it up. And I gave it up. So, since then, I've had so many things happen to my body that is just unbelievable. And, it just, I don't have cankles anymore. Uh, all the skin tags on my body just fell off. My skin before, I could just bump my arm and it would bleed. My skin was so thin, and I would bruise really easily and stuff. My skin is tough now. You can't even make me bleed now. When I get a blood draw on my arm, it used to bruise my whole inside of my elbow. You can't even tell where the needle goes in now. So anyway, there's a lot of things that have reversed: hemorrhoids, irritable bowel syndrome. I no longer take anything for acid reflux. My vision's actually clearing up, and I've had some vision problems for the past couple of years, and had a retina start to detach, and had emergency surgery on that. And then I started watching a lot of the stuff about how carnivore is reversing eye problems like macular degeneration and glaucoma and all of that. And I think that's happening to me now because my floaters in my eyes are getting a lot lighter. Just a lot of things that I just, I love carnivore now. I made myself be addicted to feeling good. And that's what
Right.
I'm addicted to now instead of the alcohol. I feel good. I get up, I sleep at night now. I sleep 7, 8 hours um, straight without getting up and going to the bathroom in the middle of the night. It's a biggie. and and I'm 72 years old. So see, it's never too late to start. It really isn't. I wanted to take another path rather than take pharmaceuticals. I had high blood pressure meds I was on. I'm off of all of those. Um, I was borderline type 2 diabetic. I am no longer. My last blood draw, my A1C was 5.1. Um, my doctor, I've got a actually really good doctor, and the only thing she said is if your cholesterol starts going high, I want to talk. We'll have a talk about it because she knows I'm carnivore. And I just had an appointment with her about 2 weeks ago, and she goes, "Just keep doing what you're doing. You just That's all I can say is I don't know why you're doing this. I mean, but you are reversing, you are aging backwards," is what she told me. And I was just over the moon about that. And but it's been a long haul. It's been 5 years since my husband passed away now, and I'm still on this journey of carnivore, and just recently have started the not drinking part of it and just healing myself. Um, I no longer have acne. My arthritis is gone. My teeth, my teeth are not loose anymore. I don't have periodontal disease anymore. My dentist is just amazed or my hygienist is amazed that she doesn't have to work very hard to clean my teeth. It's like, and they're always asking me, "Well, what do you do?" "Oh, I could never do that. I could never eat that way." Well, it's it is what it is, you're gonna eventually probably be on drugs. I prefer not to do the pharmaceuticals. So, but I'm feeling really good.
That's fantastic. So you started in 2023. When did you give up the alcohol?
Um, I did it a couple of times, but basically it's been about a month now this last time, and it's the last time. For
Right.
some reason, I know that this is the last time that I am giving up alcohol because I'm not going back. There's something different about it. It finally got into my head that I cannot drink and be healthy. And so it's been about a full month now.
And that month, you must be feeling awesome,
I am feeling just fabulous. And
especially the mornings.
yeah, yes, especially the mornings. Yeah. Yeah, I get up in the morning and I'm active. I'm in the pool. I live in a 55 and older community in Yuma, Arizona, and we have a pool that's heated in the wintertime too. So I get in it a lot. I was just in it today, and I work out. I have a secondary handicap. I've got a leg that just it's starting to feel better. I have some nerve damage in that leg, so we'll see. The alcohol. I just you know it is what it is right now. But I'm on top of it now, and I am feeling on top of the world, and I'm addicted to feeling good right now.
That's
And
awesome.
I got some friends that I've turned on to carnivore too. Um, and one of my friends started doing carnivore, and he is off of his blood pressure meds. He has eye pressure build up in his eyes, and for the first time in his life, the pressure is going down instead of up for him. And he is all hooked on carnivore now, and he's telling people, and he tells everybody he comes across. He's funny. But yeah, it's been a struggle, but life is good. Life is really good right now.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's because of the
fantastic.
diet. It's
Yeah.
because of the diet.
Mm.
And
Um, yeah, it's really it's really an amazing feeling when you finally kind of realize that all the medications that we take throughout our lives, really, it's just patching over problems that never really go away, and those
yeah,
problems start to resolve once you're giving yourself the correct nutrition.
yeah, yeah, it is. And not having to cook all the time. And I go into the store and it's crazy. I look and I just look around at all of the carbs and the packaged foods and the just it just amazes me, and I just go in there and buy my meat and leave. It's like and it amazes me. I'll have a cart. I do a lot of my bulk meat shopping at Sam's Club, and I'll have a cart full of meat, and I'll be there at the checkout, and somebody will say to me, "Oh, you eat all that, it's going to kill you." And I look at their cart, and it's full of just processed foods, and I just look at them, and I'm like, "What a way to go," you know.
Yeah, and,
So,
like, you wanna say, "Look, you know, do something," you're sick because of the stuff that's in your cart, but,
yeah,
you're wasting your breath, right?
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, and I tell them, I said, "Well, I eat only meat," and they go, "Well, it's that all that red meat's going to kill you," and I was like, "Yeah," and that's what my doctor kind of, hey, when your cholesterol. So far, my cholesterol's not high. So my last blood test was they called it unremarkable, because everything was just right in the middle, just, unremarkable. So,
That's where you wanna be on a blood test, right? Have
yeah,
everything as
yeah.
unremarkable, you know?
So,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's life is really good here. I stay active now. I'm like I said, I get in the pool. I'm doing some walking that I can. Like I said, I have a nerve damage in my right leg, and if I do too much walking, it starts hurting too much. But you know what? I'm walking more than and more as time goes on. So I quit using the riding carts in the grocery store, and I just push a cart, and you know, it's getting there. And I didn't get this way overnight, it's
S
so it's gonna
where
take a while.
when you think about you've gone from 4x to medium,
Yeah,
that's like that's an insane
it's
change.
amazing. It's amazing, isn't it?
Mm,
Yeah. And like I said, I broke up with my scale a long time ago because I was constantly on some sort of diet. And, why didn't you lose a pound last night? And I'd get on the scale, and then I'd get on back on it, and it must be wrong. And, I can't be losing weight, and I'm not losing weight. And I got so frustrated that I took it and threw it in the dumpster. And then I decided I would use a tape measure and measure myself or just see how my clothes fit. And I made that decision a long time ago because I was just so angry at myself of losing a bunch of weight and then gaining it back. You know, and so it goes the way it
yeah,
goes. But
yeah. So, day to day, what's your menu like now? How many times are you eating?
I kind of actually fell into this way of eating just by I only eat when I'm hungry, but I don't always eat when I'm hungry. So those two things, I found that if I get up and I eat between 7 and 8 o'clock in the morning, I will eat again somewhere between 4 and 5. Biggest meal is in the morning, smallest meal is towards the evening. I will not eat after 5 o'clock because I sleep better if I don't eat after 5 o'clock. And then the next day, because I ate at 4 o'clock, I don't get hungry till about 11, 12 o'clock. So within a 2 day period, I eat 3 meals. So one day I eat two, the next day I eat one right around noon. And if I eat around noon, I'm not hungry by 5, so I don't eat. So the next morning I get up, and I'm usually up around 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. I'll eat at 7 and then right around at 4. And then the next day I get up, I'll eat around noon. So, and I kind of just automatically fell into that. I didn't plan it that way, but it was from only eating when you're hungry was what brought that on. And
Right.
so,
Wow. And
yeah,
so that's I kinda like that pattern 'cause I can understand that, there's a lot of mornings, if you've eaten something a little bit later in the day, there's a lot of mornings you're not gonna be that hungry and,
right.
then you can only stick you can go just that one meal.
Yep.
Um, so, and those meals are basically like steak and eggs or
Yeah, or burger and pork belly. One of the things I learned from Laura Spath is to make your meals more interesting is to do like a couple of things instead of just concentrating on one steak. um, have a steak with some pork belly, and I do eat a lot of eggs, and I'll eat a couple of hard-boiled eggs, or I'll fry some eggs and have with it. I eat a lot of burger, and like I said, I'll eat a few pieces of pork belly with the burger, and then a couple of eggs. So I do about an 18 pack of eggs once a week. So, and that kind of makes it more interesting. It doesn't get so what they call boring, but and then I'll throw a steak in there about twice a week, you know. but and then I'll eat
Nice.
pork chops. Um, I'm originally from Alaska, so I get friends that bring me fish, and so I will eat some fish. And I don't care for chicken or turkey. I never really have a lot, so I don't eat a lot of that. Um, but
So, because of you mentioned you live in a community, right?
yes,
Because of the way you eat, probably people around you don't see you eating
no. Well,
very
they
much.
do all kinds of potlucks at the clubhouse. They'll do a potluck for like East. They just had one at Easter. They'll do a potluck for Thanksgiving and Christmas, and they'll do all kinds of potlucks through the year. And I'll take a steak and eat my steak.
Do you get comments?
Oh yeah, all the time. All the time. It's like, "Oh, I'm sorry you can't eat that." And I'm look at them and I go, "Well, I don't think of it as I can't eat it. I can. I choose not to." There's a difference between can and, you know. And then they like, "Oh." And a few of them, there is one other lady in the park that is carnivore. And I tried to get her to email you and get on so that she could tell her story because hers is different than mine. But she is carnivore and she is in the park here. And and I don't drive, so I do have a golf cart that I drive around my community. I can do my own trash and go to the clubhouse and check my mail, and I get around on my golf cart within the park. It's but I don't drive a car. And with my eyesight as bad as it's been, um, they won't uh, let me have a driver's license anymore. So, but my eyesight's getting better, a lot
Mm.
better than what it was. And I do have an appointment with my ophthalmologist in July, the first week in July. And I want him to push his stool back and look at me and go, "What the hell are you doing?" Because there is a change in my eyesight now. So,
So, like, were just so I can kind of understand it a little bit better, like, your eyesight is or has been getting blurry, and it's less
yes,
blurry
yes,
when you're, say, reading
yeah,
now or something?
yeah. Um, the what happened was I had when I was 65, I had lens replacement, cataract surgery, and I had done monovision for my eyes years ago. I used contacts to do monovision, where you use one eye to read and one eye to see far away, and your brain actually adjusts to doing that. And I had done it very successfully years ago. So when they did the eye surgery, they wanted to know if I wanted to do monovision in my lenses in my eyes. And I'm like, hey, yeah. So anyway, fast forward to 7 years later, and my floaters in my eyes are getting bad, and I can't see anymore. It's just, I can't see far, I can't see near. They're just, the floaters are in the way, they're dark, um, and I was diagnosed with macular degeneration also. So they did a surgery on my left eye to zap the floaters, and they use a laser to do that. And they do one eye at a time. They won't do both of them the same day. And so about 2 weeks after they did that surgery, and it worked pretty good. I mean, I could see, I could read again. I could see on the back of a pill bottle the ingredients, I could see that far again, but I couldn't see distance because that was my right eye. And so, anyway, 2 weeks after I had that first surgery, I had a retina detach and it wasn't fully detached. And I ended up having to go to Phoenix and have an emergency surgery done on my eye to stop the retina from detaching. And that took 4 months before they would even touch my right eye. So they go to zap the floaters in my right eye, and he doesn't use full power on it because I fall within a 4 percentile chance of, if they do that laser on my eye, my retina will detach in the other eye also. I've fallen up to a 4 percentile of people that have that happen to them. So he didn't want me to have the retina detach in my right eye, so he zapped floaters, but not enough to clear up my vision. So my far vision has been really bad. And the last time I went to him was about 6 months ago, and he's like, "There's really nothing more we can do for you." And I was like, I said, "Can't you just zap those floaters like you did the other one?" And he goes, "No, not anymore. We're way past that." So I'm really curious to see, because those floaters in that right eye are getting lighter and lighter, and I can see through them. Before, to even be able to see, I'd have to stand there and look and let the floaters sink down, and then I could possibly see over the top of them a little bit. But now it's getting, my vision is clearing up. So I want to see what he says in the first week in July when I go for my checkup. See what he says.
Yeah. It's really exciting, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
That
exciting times for me.
yeah, it's just w- we always think that, there's no we're just getting old. There's nowhere to fix these things, it's all downhill from here. And
Right.
like
Right. Right.
you just start eating
Yep.
properly and things start to resolve. Your body's got this really good way of being able to heal itself.
Hmm. I really believe that now. You just give it a chance. Give it a chance. So,
The
yeah.
crazy thing is, all through our lives, we see our body healing on the outside. You cut your knee, you cut your arm, something like that, and your body heals. But we've just been brainwashed to feel like internally you have to get medications to help. It has
Hmm.
to be medications, it has to be operations, it has to be this, that, the other. And we never stop and go, well, if it heals on the outside, maybe it can also heal on the inside.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. I am
Yeah,
just amazed, I don't have bloating anymore. I No inflammation. Um, oh, just on and on and on about, you know,
yeah,
I have one bowel movement a day now, and it's
mhm,
usually within 10 minutes after get up in the morning. I don't have to know exactly where the next bathroom's going to be, you know? It's liberating. It's very liberating.
yeah,
And I just I just love it. I just love it. And
mm,
I'm not going off this diet. Yeah.
yeah. So if a friend said to you, "Okay, you're doing really well. Tell me, Ava, how can I get started with this?" What would you advise them to do?
I would, and I get asked that question, and I suggest they start watching Dr. Berry and do their own research. People don't believe you, or they don't believe me. Although they can see me. I have a girlfriend that tells me how amazing I'm looking. She even told me I was reverse aging, and but the diet's not for her. So, but so it's okay. She's got her own cross to bear and her own path to follow. But I would tell them to do your own research, and I'd start with keto. Keto, to me, that's how I did it, was keto, and I started watching Dr. Barry, and he was just trying keto when I started watching it. And like I said, the first time I tried carnivore, I could only do it for 2 weeks, but, um, I just kept going back to it because I remember that 2 weeks of how I felt much better, and then I'd fall back onto keto keto was definitely an easy way to start rather than just go full bore carnivore right from the start, um, but I would suggest they do their own research, and I would put your name on the list of people to watch and to
Oh,
check into.
thank you.
Yeah.
Um, I think I like the idea. You just made me think of something when you said go keto first. I think I like the idea of actually doing that in a way that, when someone goes keto, they see results, right? They lose
Yeah.
some weight, they start to feel better, that kind of thing. But there's an issue in that you've got to like be counting things. You got to be thinking
Right.
about like, what are my macros? What's this? What's that? And, it's then a lot easier to come in and say to them, do you want an easier way of doing this? Do you want to stop having to think about it? And, that's how you can more easily introduce carnivore at that point, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, because it seemed easier to me, and I gotta say that, Dr. Ken Berry saved my life, but you pulled me out of the ditch. Your show pulled me out of the ditch that I was in, and, I really, really appreciate that. And it was basically your story that pulled me out, and the others too, but it was the drinking part that I needed to drop, and that was, all to you. I have to give you that credit.
Thank you so much. It's very kind of you to say, but it's so nice to hear that you are out of that, and you know, like just it's so nice being off alcohol. It is so nice.
Yes. It is. It really is. I feel just liberated now,
Mm,
with the
mm.
diet. It's like, do you know how much time you spend thinking about what are you gonna eat and how you're gonna cook it? And you gotta make sure make enough time to cook it. And it's gone. And my background in my employment uh, is basically food. I worked in restaurants. I managed restaurants. I managed a resort. I did special events where it was all food centered and buffets, and that was what I did was food. And so to not have to cook, and I've got an air fryer. And I'm single. I live alone, and almost every meal, other than my eggs, I'll do in a skillet on the stovetop, but almost everything else is air fried.
Yeah, it just makes everything so much easier.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Um, so Ava, if people want to reach out to you, do you have any social media or any way of getting in contact?
No, they can email me at avajones679 at gmail. I don't do social media. I don't do Facebook or anything like that. I'm pretty bare bones when it comes to technology.
So I'll link to your email in the show notes.
Okay.
Ava, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story. I really appreciate your time.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dave. And like I said, you pulled me out of that ditch, and I will forever be thankful of your show and the people that you have on. And thank you very much.